What is up, Squared Nation? Welcome back to No Counters, No Combos. And as you can see, today we're going to be opening a box of Digital Hazard. Shout out to Gamer's Edge for hooking us up with this box for the channel. If you guys are in the northeastern Pennsylvania area or in the tri-state area and you're not too far away from Stroudsburg, PA, come check us out. The information for the shop will be in the description box down below. Digimon events are held every Sunday at 7 p.m. Unless it's a best of 3 or a pre-release, then it will probably start around an hour earlier, around 6 p.m. But you can get your product there. You can get all your card accessories, you know, sleeves, mats, tubes, all that stuff. So, Gamer's Edge, Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania. Let's dive into the box. Now, I'm really excited for EX02 because Tamers is one of my, it's not my favorite season, but it's one of my favorite seasons, probably my second favorite season. I'm a real glutton for O2. I really enjoy O2 as my favorite Digimon season just because Veemon's my favorite Digimon. And that's the boy right there. But I can objectively say that Tamers is peak Digimon. It was like the best arc there. So each box does come with 24 packs and a box topper, which is an alternate art reprint of Imperial Dramon, Dragon Mode, or Mastimon. So let's see what we get. Let's pop this open. And we got the Mastimon. Just real quick so you can see. Looks pretty good. I do apologize for the glare. That's really bad right there. But you can see the Mastimon there. It is the same card from the Mastimon starter deck that we got. You know, the same DNA Digivolution card. So I'm going to put that off to the side, and we're going to go ahead and dive into these packs. I'm looking for pretty much everything. Probably I'm most excited for Beelzemon, to be honest. But, you know, I would not be upset with Renamon or, you know, Guillamon or anything like that. So we're just going to get a little organized here. I got my little trash bag to the side. And then we're just going to start ripping these guys open. I do think the ratios for this set is, I believe it's 6 SRs per box. And then a combination of 3 alternate arts with the possibility of a secret rare. So hopefully we can pull some good stuff. Now, let me just get this box out of the way for you guys here. So we got a new Andromon. We got a Cubimon, which is nice. Good champion for the Renamon. We got Locomon. We got our first D-Reaper card, which is the Gatekeeper. We got the Pendulum Feet, which is the Searcher. A plug-in. We got the other actual, you know, Searcher that you feed to the Mother Reaper. Fist of the Beast King. Death Stinger. This is for the Beelzemon. We got our War Groundmon. Our first rare is the Terriermon. And look at that. Right off the bat, first pack, alternate art, Gummimon. This is the baby for the Terriermon archetype, as you can see there. It's really nice, really cute. A lot of the eggs are, I think all the eggs actually have alternate art forms as well. And they're just super, super nice. So we're just going to set everything off to a pile here. We're going to separate our rares and commons and all that. And then we're just going to keep it moving. So that's a good first pull. I myself, I enjoy the way the alternate arts look, but I don't necessarily like to keep them because I know a lot of people are looking for them for their collections. Davidson, we got a Lopmon, we got our Growlmon, we got another Mother Reaper card here with the Horn Striker. We got our red plugin, another Searcher. This is probably going to be the boogeyman of this format here with the D-Reaper. Gorillamon. We got our Bubbles. We got our Xiaomon, which is another baby. We have Reapermon. We have our first Tamer, which is Rio. This is going to be for the Justimon deck. Basically, it just allows you to play them for free, and you get multiple effects off of your Tamer amount. And then we have our Big Daddy Reaper here. 20 cost, memory, 15k attacker. This is just ridiculous. This D-Reaper, the D-Reaper is going to definitely be the boogeyman of EX2 in my opinion. So if you want to play this format, or if you want to build stuff out of EX2, you have to make sure that you have an answer to the Mother Reaper, because she is a house. Strike Dramon, Mephistomon, Ground Locomon. We have our green plug-in here. We have another Pendulum Feet. We have our Cesaromon. We have our Creepy Hands, or Creep Hands. Labramon. We have our Alice McCoy, which is a really interesting tamer for purple. We have our Rapidmon, and then we have our first Guillemon here, which is, again, a lot of these rookies for the in-character cards, or the in-character archetypes, are searchers for pieces of their evolutionary chain as well as a tamer, so they're really nice. And then we got our actual blue card here, white option here for EX02. So far, just the one alternate art, but so far, I like these smaller sets because it's more condensed. It's a lot easier to get your hands on all the cards. We have Gargomon, another Andromon. We have Cubimon. We have a Pallet's Head. Interesting. Fist of the Beast King, another Gatekeeper. We have our Ice Devimon. We have our Christopher Walken card here. Optimizer. We have our Viximon, which is a very interesting yellow egg. Or yellow Digitama, because every time you activate an option that's cost 2 or more, you get to draw a card as the inheritable. So that's really good, you know, even outside of the Renamon archetype, just good for yellow in general. We have our Jerry Tamer. We have our Cyberdramon, which is a really awesome looking card here. Just so you guys can see that. Cyberdramon is a really dope looking Digimon. And we have our Dobermon, another really cool looking Digimon that's going to help with the Beelzemon archetype. I think, you know, playing stuff out of the trash is going to be really nice. Putting stuff into the trash is going to be really nice. On to the races here. I love how they made the Jerry stuff around Leomon. Basically, it's just so cool, like the flavor and everything like that. We got Locomon, Devidramon, Lopmon, another blue plugin. We have Horn Striker here. We have our first red plugin, which is nice. Pallet Head, Bubbles. This whole pack is like Mother D Reaper. We have our Jerry. We have our Susie Tamer. This is basically Susie. This is Henry's sister from the anime. Her name was Susie in the anime. And then we have Rika. And then we have our first SR pull is Golfmon. So that's a really interesting card. It's a hand destruction card, so you definitely want to be careful. Hand destruction in any card game is always like super strong. So I'm definitely going to look into that, being purple. It might be a nice tech option for like a Beelzemon deck or something like that. Growlmon, Strike-Dramon, Mephistomon, Ground Locomon, Christopher Walken, Cesaromon, Horn Striker, Labramon. We have our first Moondramon, which is really nice. Basically, when you play Moondramon, you can look at the top 4 cards of your deck, and you can add all of your black tamers that you revealed, which is really, really nice, because you need your black tamers for Justimon. Death Stinger, we have our first Mother D Reaper, which is the egg for the D Reaper archetype, and then we have our Terriermon. And like I said earlier, if you don't have an out for Mother D Reaper being a 15k, you better find one, because she's just going to sit there and she's going to get passive advantage, and when she's ready to kill you, she's just going to kill you. That's just how it is. On to the next pack. We have Gargomon. We have Andromon. We have Cubimon. We have Gorillamon. We have another Gatekeeper. We have Pendulum Feet. Another plug-in here. We have our EX02 Searcher. We have our first Gummymon egg. That's not that alternate art, which is nice. He's got a really good inheritable. Basically, when one of your opponent's Digimon gets suspended, you get to draw a card, which is really nice. Wargramon. We have our Iron Mako, which is the tamer for the Beelzemon archetype. And then we have our first Renamon. So Renamon, Terriermon, and Guillemon are the same. They basically, on play, look at the top, is it 5? Look at the top 4 cards of your deck to add one of their evolutionary pieces as well as the corresponding tamer. So Renamon will search for either Cubimon, Talmon, or Sakuyamon, and Rika. Terriermon actually doesn't search, which is interesting. He just gains a memory when you have a green tamer in play, or when you play a green tamer, which is weird that they didn't give him the search. And then Guillemon has the same effect on play. Look at the top 4 for a Growlmon, Wargramon, Gallantmon, and Takato. Locomon, Devidramon, we have Lopmon, we have Fist of the Beast King, we have our green option here, we have our Optimizer, we have our Creepy Hands, we have our red plugin, we have our Kenta, which is the tamer for the Machine Andromon, Marine Andromon deck. We have our Parasitemon, which is very interesting. We have our Godramon, and then we have our first Takato Tamer. Takato is really nice because when you evolve up into your Gallantmon chain, or Growlmon chain, they basically have when Digivolving gain Blitz. So if you go over your memory gauge and pass your opponent's turn, it still gives you that swing that you can go ahead and try to finish them off for game, which is really nice. I like Blitz as a keyword. I think it's really nice because you can extend and just kind of, you know, spill into your opponent's memory gauge without getting penalized too heavily for it. Gargamon, Andromon, we have another Cubimon here. We have our Gatekeeper, our green plugin. We have our Ice Devimon, Pendulum Feet, Optimizer. We have our Yamon, which is our purple egg. I don't know if this is the one. While there are 10 or more cards in your trash, 2000 DP. I mean, that's really good. 2000 DP buff is really nice, but you might want to play other purple eggs, you know, especially since you want cards in the trash, or maybe play some purple eggs that help you draw cards. This is our first Talmon that we've pulled, which is nice. We have Gardramon here, and then we have our first secret rare. We have Beelzemon, Blast Mode. Shout out to my boy Danny Riccardi. Beelzemon is one of, if not his favorite Digimon. So I just, you know, if you're out there, boy, if you're watching, you know, here he is, man. I'm gonna definitely send you some pics in your Facebook Messenger, so keep that eye open. That's our first secret rare from this, or that's our only secret rare, I should say, from this box. So we got the Beelzemon, which is really nice. I'm definitely looking forward to that archetype. That's really cool. I know everybody's really eyeing Gallantmon because, you know, the Crimson mode is just really strong. But me personally, I want to try the Beelzemon stuff, to be honest. Growlmon, Strikemon, Mephistomon, Labramon, our Searcher, Pallet Hands, Gorillamon, Fist of the Beast King. We have our Hotmon here, which is our first egg for black. We have our Kazu, which is another tamer for black. We have Calamon. Now, Calamon is super interesting. I really like this card. It's more of a utility card, in my opinion. Basically, when you have Guillamon, Renamon, Terriermon, or Impmon on the board, you can reduce Calamon's cost by 2, so you can play it for 1. And then when one of your guys digivolves, you can give it plus 3,000 DP for the turn. Yeah, plus 3,000 DP for the turn. Draw a card and gain a memory on suspension. So it's kind of makes your stuff a little cheaper. And it lets you dig into your deck as well. And then we have our Sakuyamon. This card is just... Let that camera focus. This card just looks super nice. That backflip into the moon there is just super nice. But yeah, I'm interested in looking into this Calamon stuff. I think there's a nice little niche for him, you know, for a support card. Like if you're looking for your, you know, 13th and 14th rookies, you could probably consider playing Calamon if you're leaning heavy into those archetypes on those specific characters. Strikemon, Mephistomon, we have another ground Locomon here. We have our Searcher, we have our Pallet Hands, we have our Gorillamon, we have our Fist of the Beast King, we have our Bubbles, we have our Parasitemon, we have another Kazu, we have a Renamon, and then we have an alternate art here, looks like, for Golfmon. This is actually pretty sick looking. If you take a look at that, it's pretty dope. Bandai does such a good card with the Digimon alt arts. They're just super nice looking, in my opinion. Like, that's the one thing I really like about this game is, like, yes, you know, you have the ability of getting everything that you need for your deck at an affordable rate. But then there's also some prize cards that you can get lucky enough to pull. And it's just an alternate art printing of an essential either SR for an archetype or something like that. You know, coming from Dragon Ball, a lot of the alternate arts are harder to get, which is fine. But, you know, sometimes that's the most recently printed version of the card, so that's something that you have to look after. I just like how Digimon does it because it doesn't feel like it clogs. Like, you feel like you get a good amount of your SRs, and then you just get lucky if you get specific alternate arts there. We have our ground Locomon, we have our Gargamon, we have Andromon, we have our 04 Bubbles, we have our 09 Gatekeeper, we have our green plugin, we have our Ice Devimon, Pendulum Feet, we have another Yamon, we have a Talmon, we have our Marine Angemon, which is a rare, I believe. Yeah, it is a rare, and then we have our first Henry Tamer. Now, Henry is really nice. It's a green memory fixer, and it basically says when you attack with Digimon with Gargamon or Rapidmon in its name, you may suspend this Tamer to suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. So this works really good with Rapidmon, and you know which Rapidmon I'm talking about. So that guy is a menace. He's not going anywhere. So that was our first 12 packs. We're on to our last 12 packs of this box. Let's see what other SRs or alternate arts we can get. We've only pulled 2 SRs so far, and we've pulled 2 alternate arts and a secret rare, so I think we have the opportunity of getting 1 more alternate art and about maybe 4 more SRs, so these next 12 packs are going to be really nice. Cubimon, Locomon, Digimon, Optimizer, we have Cesaromon, we have our blue plugin, we have our Creepy Hands, we have our Horn Striker, we have our first Digimon, which is the Digitama for Guilmon, which is really nice because when you attack once per turn, if you have Gramon, Gearmon, or Gallantmon in its name, you get to draw a card. So it's just really nice draw power for red. We have Fireball, which I really like this card. Basically, you delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 3,000 DP or less, and if you don't, you get to draw 2 cards. So it's for two memory, draw 2. It's not bad. We have our Impmon, awesome card, and then we have our Antilamon. So Impmon is definitely a main piece of that Beelzemon archetype. It basically wants everything milled out of the deck into the trash, so you can go ahead and use your trash as another resource and play cards out of your trash off of effects that way. It's basically like Light Sworns for you Yu-Gi-Oh players. Locomon, Gargomon, Andromon, Labramon, Gorillamon, Gatekeeper, Pendulum Feet, Plugin, Death Stinger. We have our War Growlmon. We have our Renamon. And then we have another SR here in Leomon. Now, I don't think Leomon's going to see a lot of play, in my opinion. Maybe when he gets his X-Antibody card, he might. But this card is just super pretty looking. And it's so... it is so, like... in theme with Leomon. Like, basically when he dies, he becomes a blocker on your opponent's turn, and when he dies, when he gets deleted, he draws you a card and gains you 2 memory, which is sick. He's a 4K blocker. So I'm really interested in seeing how people are going to utilize that. He's a 2 evolution cost on a level 3, so it's not too expensive, and giving you a blocker that's going to essentially get you memory and draw you a card is not too bad. Especially, you could probably work it away, early enough to choke your opponent. Locomon, Davidson, Searcher, Fist of the Beast King, our green plugin, Optimizer, Creepy Hands, Kenta, Parasitemon, Gardramon, and Takato. That's our second Takato. Takato Matsuki. The one thing I will say, though, it's weird, is if you compare the SRs, right? Just look at these two, for example. I feel like the art quality on the Sakuyamon is so much better than the Leomon. Like, I feel like the Leomon could have been a rare, in my opinion, but I know they had to give each color an SR. I mean, blue being the most lackluster color in the set, there's not really much for it except for just like maybe some support cards. There's no like archetype specific stuff. I think they had to give just something an SR, but I mean, it's just weird how it just doesn't look that great compared to the other ones. Lopmon, Growlmon, Strike-Dramon, we have a red option, we have our Labramon, Searcher, Pallet Feet, Gorillamon, Hopmon, we have our Kazu, we have another Calamon, and then we have another Marine Angemon. So we're winding down to the last couple of packs here. We're probably still maybe 3 SRs and an alternate art left. So yeah, I think we should be okay here. Lopmon, Growlmon, Strike-Dramon, our red option, Searcher, Gorillamon, Bubbles, green plugin, Shaomon, this is an egg for blue, Reapermon, we have our Rio Tamer, and then we have another Reaper. So we have 2 rares in this pack. I thought that the Reapermon was going to be a rare, but it's just an uncommon. That guy's pretty crazy. Every time one of your opponent's Digimon unsuspends, you de-digivolve 1. That's actually pretty crazy if you can cheat him out early. Mephistomon, Ground Locomon, Gargomon, Ice Devimon, Cesaromon. This is the Horn Striker, Labramon, Gorillamon, Gummymon, Moondramon. We have our Mother D Reaper, and then we have our another SR. We have our Beelzemon here, our level 6 Beelzemon. This guy is super cool looking, man. He's just so dope. 11,000 DP is a little low, But with the DP increases that you get from the Digitama, you'll be able to run stuff over. But like I said, Beelzemon is just such a cool looking card, and we already pulled the secret rare in this box as well for the blast mode. So I'm really, all signs are pointing to some Beelzemon action coming up on the channel really soon. Mephistomon, Ground Locomon, Gargomon, Pendulum Feet, Cesaromon, Creepy Hands, Labramon, Pallet Feet. Pallet Head, sorry. Alice McCoy. We have our Rapidmon. We have our Guillemon. And then we have... Ooh, this card is sexy looking. We have our Megidramon. Megidramon is an alternative mega form of Guillemon. Instead of Gallantmon, you go into Megidramon. This card's actually really interesting, being a multicolored purple-red card. I like the floater effect on it. Basically, like if this card were to get deleted, you can play a Guillemon out of your trash without paying its memory cost, which is really nice. Excuse me. And he also gets you your Tocado to the board, which is really nice. If you Digivolve up to him early enough and he just kind of sits there, he's a 13,000 attacker, so his DP value is really high. But if for some reason he were to get deleted, he is a floater, so he's not leaving the board without getting you some type of extension or player advantage off of there. So that Megidramon is really cool. I know they started teasing multicolor cards coming out, like the next couple of promos and stuff like that, and there's already some purple Guillemon stuff with like the Chaos Gallantmon, so the fact that he's red-purple is really interesting in my opinion. We have our Andromon here. We have another Cubimon, Locomon, Fist of the Beast King, Gatekeeper, Ice Devimon, Optimizer. We have our blue plugin. We have another Jerry. We have the Mother Reaper Jerry, and then we have our blue card and our Cyberdramon. Those are our last two rares from the pack. All right, so guys, we're getting down to our last 4 packs of this box. I believe we're still missing an alternate art and probably one SR. So let's see what we can get. Fingers crossed, bro. Let's get some alternate art. Gallantmon, Crimson modes, and some alternate art. Beelzemon, Blast modes. We have our Davidson here. We have our Lotmon, Growlmon, Strike-Dramon. We have our Horn Striker. We have our red plugin. We have Pallet Head. We have Bubbles. Am I saying that right? Is it really Pallet Head? Yeah, it's Pallet Head. Or is it Pilates Head? No, Pilates with an I. We have our Viximon. We have another Susie, we have Doberman, and then we have Rika. I'm actually really interested by the yellow stuff. I like the fact that Rika allows you to restand your Mega, as well as play options out of your hand for free, which is basically how that deck operates. It just plays options, kind of like how she did in the game with Digimodify cards. It's just really cool how they kind of extended that flavor into the game itself. Mephistomon, Ground Locomon, Gargomon, Fist of the Beast King, Bubbles, Gatekeeper, our green plugin, Ice Devimon, Yaman, Taumon. We got Henry, and then we got another Impmon. This is only our second Impmon, which is actually, I think we've gotten at this point 2 of the rookies, except for Terriermon, which is, he's the worst one because he doesn't search. He doesn't look at top. He doesn't look at top 4 for a tamer and an evolutionary piece. So that's just weird. But we'll see what happens. Andromon, Cubimon, Locomon, Pendulum Feet, Optimizer, Cesaromon. Our this says high speed plugin. I think it just gives you jamming. Yeah, it just gives you jamming. Creepy Hands. We have our Digimon. We have our Fireball. We have Antilamon, and then we have our another SR here in our Mega Gargomon. Now this guy looks pretty sick, and he's huge, 13k DP, but a 5 evolutionary cost on a level 5 is kind of crazy. But his effect is pretty good. He basically comes to the board and puts all your opponent's Digimon in suspend, and then they can't unsuspend, so that's pretty decent. And with the amount of suspension that green does, it just goes very well with that strategy. All right, so just real quick, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 SRs, 1 secret rare, and 2 alternate arts. I think there might be another alternate art in this pack, so let's see how good we could do. We have our Davidson, we have our Lotmon, Growlmon, we have our green plugin, we have our Optimizer, we have our Creepy Hands, we have our red plugin, Labramon, we have Hotmon, we have Kenta, we have Iron Mako, and then yes, the last card in the pack is an alternate art Antilamon. He actually looks really sick with Susie up there on the top of his head, giving her a piggyback ride. Really, really sick. So all in all, yeah, the ratios hold up. It's a smaller set, so the ratios are a little bit better in favor for pulls, but it looks like you get 3 alternate arts per box with a secret rare and 6 SRs. That's just kind of how it looks like the ratios pan out, which I'm not complaining because at this point, my card pool is very, very limited early on, so I'm not one to balk at, you know, adding to the card pool. So hopefully you guys are able to get some boxes over the weekend as well. I know there's a pretty big event going on in Philly, so I want to shout out everybody who's attending as well as all the Dragon Ball Super players as well. But let me know what you guys think. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, and please hit the notification bell so you can stay up to date with everything No Counters, No Combos. We really do appreciate the support, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Be there or be squared.